Okay, awesome. Hey guys, what's up? We're back to the live episode. So this time on the podcast, we have a returning guest. By this is the first returning guest of the podcast. So yeah, welcome to the podcast, Dipanshu. It's been long since you were on the show, right? You were probably the second guest of the podcast, and then later on, sort
Exactly.
of
I
scaled.
remember it was somewhere around 2 years back.
Yeah, it's fun, dude. Awesome. Okay, so we'll be talking about a couple of things today. The first about CloutLanders, which is a new NFT project that Dipanshu is a part of. And then we'll be talking about like cybersecurity in terms of blockchain, also about the crypto world and about the new taxation laws, which I don't know anything about, but I'll ask questions about it. So awesome, guys. In the chat, if we have guys in the chat, just spam in hi so that I know that you are in. Okay. Other than that, awesome. Before we begin, let's set context. So already most of you know, मतलब जो podcast सुनते हैं, they know who Dipanshu is. But for those who don't, like a quick two-line introduction. Who is Dipanshu Parashar? What does he do?
Okay. Hi guys. I'm Dipanshu Parashar. Basically, I have been a cybersecurity practitioner. I have been researching into the field of cybersecurity. These days, I have been exploring and widening my reach to the NFT clubs and to understand about the blockchain securities and all. And this is the only reason that I have been now working out with few of the government agencies as well on their cybersecurity projects, along with some private institutes on working on the decentralization mechanisms or into the DeFi space. So in short, I'm quite an explorer and a tech loving guy. So that would be probably a nice introduction for me to summarize myself what I do.
Awesome, but yeah. So half of the context is now set. So these guys sort of know what do you do and who you are. So
Great.
before we like sort of jump in the meat of the conversation, explain in like very simple terms what is an NFT project. How does that work?
Before getting into the NFT project, I believe that there are multiple videos available on YouTube, which
Mm-hmm.
probably all of you guys can just search on what is NFT. And there are many really great explorers. There are many great YouTubers who would be probably explaining you. Before understanding NFT club, we do need to understand about the value of an NFT, what basically an NFT is, because I have seen that probably all of you guys are having an sort of a misconception that NFT is all about an art, right? It's all about just an art piece which is getting out selling for fucking $1 million, and people don't even know that what the real value behind that particular art piece is. NFT, a non-fungible token. If in case I want to explain it in a very short form, what it can be, imagine you are having ₹100 note, right? You just went to any sort of an shopkeeper and you just asked him, कि भैया छुट्टा दे दो इस चीज का, just break it into certain pieces. This guy have delivered you ₹50 two notes, right? Two
Mm-hmm.
notes of ₹50, the value remains same, right? If in case there is $100, right, and a person has just given you $50, right, two different notes, but the value remains same. Now imagine if in case I'm getting out this ₹100 note signed or an autograph on this particular note by a very famous celebrity, right? Suppose, for example, I just went to Shah Rukh Khan. I just get this ₹100 note signed by his autograph, right? Now the value of this ₹100 note become non-fungible. It is something which is not replaceable. This ₹100 note, I can probably sell over more than 5 lakhs or even 10 lakhs to the people who admire Shah Rukh Khan. This is exactly how NFT works. Basically, NFT is all the game of the utilities behind this particular artwork. Let's take it as an example to understand what's an NFT club is all about. An organization which is delivering their own NFTs and delivering you the utilities which are subsequently working for anyone who is buying any of the NFT, any of the single NFT from these clubs. For an example, taking as an example, Bored Ape Yacht Club, the BAYC, right?
Yep.
Probably the people who don't know about BAYC, you could have seen a very viral image of a monkey, right, with different avatars and all. This Bored Ape Yacht Club is not like this monkey art piece is not getting sold for over 100 Ethereum just for fun. No.
For sure.
Basically, it invites all the people who are into the billionaires club, who are the people who are the most intellectual people available on earth and who are putting up their money into such sort of an futuristic technology. They are inviting all of them together on a yacht to make a sort of a very great networking party. And this is how the people who have been paying over crores in Indian rupees, these are paying to meet these intellectual minds, these business minds. They are not paying for that, that money art, that
Sure.
monkey art. They have been paying because of the utilities behind this particular NFT project. So in short, that is something which I believe can summarize an entire NFT project along with the utilities, the communities, and the artwork.
100%. Okay, so can this community happen off the blockchain? How important is the technology for having, let's say, a Bored Ape Yacht Club? Can we just not have the blockchain and let's say just have a club? Like no, normally how we have invite only clubs. something
Right.
like that. Like why is the technological element so necessary to have something like that? Can you explain
The
that?
entire idea, the beauty, what I believe, it's my entirely strictly personal opinion. What I
Huh.
believe is that I dive into NFT space just because of the tech, not to
Hmm.
make any sort of an money. I loved the tech. What the tech is all about, that is what your question is, right? That the point is that the beauty of an NFT collection is the decentralization, which the NFT club possesses of. Now NFTs are an application of blockchain. Blockchain isn't technology. NFT is not a technology. It's just an
Sure.
application of that technology. Now what blockchain is, it makes sure that whatsoever, if in case there are, it's exactly like how the company works up, right? There is
Hmm.
a recent news of Elon Musk buying 9.2% share in Twitter. Now he is someone who can probably be a charge of the board meetings, and he can take decisions as well. This
For
is
sure.
exactly how an NFT club works up. An entire idea which distinguish an NFT club rather than a normal Web2 club. It's basically the decentralization. In NFT club or in the Web3 space, the people who hold the NFTs decide what should be the future. While in the Web2 clubs, the person who has created that Web2 club is the
Hmm.
one and only lead decision power, right? Whatsoever he says, each and every of the employee needs to ask on, needs to work on. So that is a simple reason that NFTs do need to have an entire technology like blockchain to make sure that the people who have been investing millions of bucks just because of that utilities, they do get the value, and they do get the power once they deserve to be.
Awesome. Like what you just explained, is it like anywhere similar to a DAO? Like how that works? Because I feel the definitions are kind of similar.
DAO is decentralized autonomous
Yeah.
organizations. So whenever an NFT club is promoted, and when they basically reach up to a level
Hmm.
where all the users are ready to be into the position where they can take part in the voting procedures,
Hmm.
right? Where they can suggest out some nice ideas to make sure that the NFT club goes further. That's when the DAO community sets up,
Acha.
right? So exactly. So it's like that. If in case suppose we are talking about a democratic nation, right? For an example, we guys, all of us living in a very shorter regions, we do vote for the PM, we do vote for the CM, the people who is our representative, right? Then they further vote for the next people.
Sure.
In the decentralization community or in the decentralized autonomous organization, there are no CMs, there are no mods, there are no MLAs and all. There is
Hmm.
only one guy who will be making sure that whatsoever the decision is, right? Whatsoever the decision is, it is getting voted by all of the holders of that NFT, right? Now,
Hmm.
since I already explained you about what an NFT is, the 100 rupees note, which is only one, which is unreplaceable,
Sure.
right?
Huh.
That cannot be duplicated.
Hmm.
Exactly the same way, if in case there is a supply of 10,000 NFTs, right? Then there can be only 10,000 unique holders.
Acha.
If in case I want to have you as one of the voter, then probably I need to make sure that I am selling out one of my NFT and you are replacing me over here. But the
100%.
supply will be limited. That makes sure that the votings are way too democratic. There are only 10,000 people who have been voting either in for, either in against. Whatsoever the motion wins up,
Hmm.
that is the decision which will be taking up.
Interesting. So let's say if I buy two NFTs, so I have
Right.
I have more power over the ones who have one NFT,
Exactly.
right? So in
Exactly.
that sense, it's not completely decentralized, right? So that if I have more money in that sense,
Right.
and
Right.
so I buy more NFTs, so in some way or form, I am sort of controlling the decisions of
This
the
is how
DAO.
the crypto manipulation is all about.
Yeah.
This is exactly how the crypto manipulation is all about. And unfortunately, this cannot be, this is not even a drawback, I believe, because
Acha.
this is also giving out an opportunity to a lot of people. Have you heard about this? That the NFT clubs do make sure that per wallet, only limited NFTs can be
Sure. Yeah.
minted up,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But this can see decentralization, every coin has two faces, right? So we guys do know that once where the decentralization is also allowing us to make sure that we are working in a democratic manner in each and every decision what an NFT club is possessing of.
Hmm.
Secondly, it also allows us that even if in case BAYC is having a limit, for an example, 10 NFTs can be minted per person,
Hmm.
right? How they are defining per person? By a wallet address,
Sure.
which each and every guy owns. Now, what if in case I'm having two wallets?
Hmm.
Via these two wallets, I can have 20 BAYCs,
100%.
right?
Yeah.
So this is something which is still argumentative, right? We can't actually predict how well this NFT project will be going up, right? Like in a general sense, not specifically talking about a single project, but in
Sure.
general sense, there are various chances that probably the metaverse can be a huge success. The
Hmm.
NFTs can be a huge success. While on the other hand, probably it's just a skeptical, right? We can't predict how the future would be.
For sure, dude. I have been talking to a couple of 40, 50-year-olds in the past 2, 3 months, right? And what I've noticed is these guys are like completely against the idea of NFTs. It can be probably not NFT, just NFT. It's blockchain,
Hmm.
crypto, everything in that domain. And I don't understand why. So it can be either because it's a huge shift from what they were using
Right,
are using since years,
right.
or there has to be some very specific reasoning behind it, which we I or you are not seeing. Do you think
Right.
is there a very specific drawback that
Uh,
the crypto culture has that we don't see or most people don't see?
I really wanted to talk about, Yash. Thank you so much for bringing out this on this
Mm-hmm.
podcast, right? The point is that, for example, let's talk about it. Not
Mm-hmm.
talking about a specific country, but there are
Mm-hmm.
many countries who are against implementing blockchain
For
regulations
sure.
or implementing blockchain in their countries and all. The simple reason being is that we both know, and all of the listeners know, that blockchain is decentralized.
Hmm.
Each and every transaction you have been making via the technology of blockchain. For example, you have been transactioning into Ethereum, into Bitcoin. Each and everything is recorded,
For sure.
and the beauty is that you can also see my transactions. You
Hmm.
can see what my account is holding. You can see my network. So basically, whatsoever I hold in a sort of an money, it's coming up. Everyone can see that, right?
Hmm.
If in case I ask you that how you understand that this particular person is poor or this particular person is rich, probably by seeing his lifestyle,
For
right?
sure.
If in case this person has been living out in a hut, so probably in a slum area, he's quite belonging from a poor background. Now in the
True.
Web3 space, you will be able to figure out who is poor, who is rich, or making a comparison via seeing their wallet addresses.
Okay.
Now, imagine if in case you all know, not only in specific countries, but in general, all of the politicians, right? Some of them,
Hmm.
not all of them, but many of the politicians are quite corrupted. We know that very well, right?
True.
The
True.
simple reason that why countries are opposing implementing blockchain or using blockchain as one of the national transactions value, right? Or
Hmm.
the national transaction exchanges. The simple reason being is that their transactions will be quite opened up,
For sure.
right? You know that you can probably the right to information, RTI Act, right?
Mm-hmm.
It will be simply there will be no RTI. Just
Yeah, because
imagine,
it's just
right?
available to
Everyone.
everybody, right? You don't need
Exactly,
to
it will
file
be
an
available
RTA.
to
Yeah.
everybody, right? So you can just simply discriminate that who the person is, uh, who is the someone who is making out a flaw and who is making
Mm-hmm.
sure that the country is actually growing up,
For
right?
sure.
That's the first reason. That's the first reason probably why the people you have been interacting to 40 to 50 years old,
Mm-hmm.
who are still stuck up into the BJP versus Congress situations and all, they do value what's quite important, seeing the current positions, right? Seeing the current scenarios. So
For sure.
that is something which is definitely still argumentative, probably will be argumentative in the future as well, right? That whether the blockchain should be implemented for the national transaction exchanges or not. Secondly, what was the follow-up question on that?
Follow-up question was like, what is that one shortcoming with crypto which we are not seeing, which the elders are probably seeing? That one shortcoming
The elders are seeing, or what the elders are not seeing?
they are seeing as like something that's bad about crypto that they are noticing and they're afraid of. Because there has to be something. There can't be like immediate
There's
hate towards
only
the
one thing
technology.
I believe. This answer should be something quite very reserved,
Huh.
like especially considering the Indian communities and all.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that Indian parents, like 70% of the India is somewhere coming out from the middle class background, right? They do understand the value of even a single 10 rupees note, right?
For sure.
They think twice before spending a single penny, right? The simple reason is that crypto is way too much fluctuative,
Yeah, it's too
right?
volatile for sure. Yeah.
They directly compare crypto, the value of crypto to the value of stocks, right? And for
Hmm.
most of them, for most of the 70%, like the 70% Indian middle class families, for them crypto is not a technology, it's basically an opportunity for them to make money.
Yeah, it's an
If
investment
in case,
instrument for
exactly,
some
it's an
yeah.
investment strategy for them.
Yeah.
The simple reason that why they are quite opposing that they don't really want that the future of the currencies will be so much fluctuated.
Huh.
And that is also a nice point about their point of view, right? Like it's very true indeed that there should be a fixed value, right? But again, if in case there is a fixed value, then there is no decentralization, right?
For
So
sure.
it's something, how can I say that, but it's something which cannot be put together in a single plate. It is something
Mm-hmm.
for different people. There are different perceptions, there are different point of view according to the situations in which they are in.
For
So
sure.
all the people you are in consultation with, these are the people who have been seeing crypto as an investment strategy.
Mm-hmm.
While we guys have been the people who have been into the tech background, these guys have been seeing crypto as an opportunity for the decentralized applications, which for sure will be the future of the internet.
100%. Dude, I
Right,
got to know another. This is a really interesting perspective I got from a 50-year-old,
right,
right? Not 50, but 45. So the thing is, what he said was the 2008 recession, like the main
Right.
reasons for that was because banks laid out bad loans. So in that sense, the centralized power, that is the banks, laid out bad loans. That means
Right.
one person or one group
Hmm.
of people, they made a bad decision, discover say the economy's got ruined, right?
Right. Right.
So
Right.
that's why people started investing in crypto,
Hmm.
or sort of
Hmm.
crypto became popular in that sense.
Cool.
But now, if you think about it, banks can just buy out most of the crypto exchanges. I mean, they can just because they have all the money any which way, right? So they can just put
Agreed.
in all the money, or not all, bunch of money in the crypto exchange,
Agreed.
and have a lot of stake in the crypto environment, and
Right.
just control the market like like they control for the whatever
Exactly.
fiat coins,
Exactly.
normal coins, right? If you think about
Right.
it.
Right.
So after a point, if someone has capital, even the decentralized crypto world isn't decentralized because they can just
Right.
control the
Right.
market. Best example is Elon Musk, dude. Like if he tweets one thing,
Definitely.
the
Definitely.
crabs go like so it's,
Right.
if you
Right.
think
Right.
about
Right.
it. So is crypto really decentralized, or is it just like a is it just like a marketing tool that most people use? Okay, we have a
Right.
decentralized technology, but after a point, if you think about it, if someone has money, they have the power to
Hmm.
just change things up. What do you think about this?
Dude, what I believe is that
Mm-hmm.
this can be very well answered by understanding the definition of decentralization.
Acha.
Right. Trust me on that basis, because people directly now, even when you were talking about this part, I observed that we guys have been taking decentralization directly relatable to the money factor, right? That the people who have
Huh.
been putting money, they are having much powers and all. No, basically decentralization is any sort of an ecosystem where there is only not one person who is taking out all the decisions, right?
Acha.
Getting it?
Huh, huh,
Anything
huh.
which is working on a voting purposes, right? Anything where there is a cumulative decision, or where there is an anonymity which has been maintained up, or which is a unanimous decision, right?
For
That is
sure.
what the true sense of decentralization is. What we guys have been favoring is that crypto is quite different from the different applications of blockchain. You need
Hmm.
to understand crypto and NFTs, right? These are two different segments. Trust me
Interesting.
on that.
Yeah. Hmm.
Crypto is something which is definitely getting utilized for buying NFTs and even for selling them, right? Are you aware that there is a new platform launched in India where you can directly trade into NFTs just via putting up your INR, the INR money? You
No,
can
not heard
directly,
about it.
you're not aware about it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That system is also decentralized.
Sure.
Getting it? That system is also decentralized. But over there, you don't need to put your crypto money over there. It is
Yeah.
something,
Sure.
the technology is way too, way too rapidly changing up. There will be a time where probably the dollars will be used for trading into NFTs. It is quite very possible.
Sure.
Exactly the way this marketplace has been coming up. The reason why I have been explaining you this is
Mm-hmm.
that as you asked about the crypto part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Elon Musk can definitely fluctuate. He can definitely make sure that the graph can go crap, right? The way you explained it, right? It can definitely go on the basis of the money which he has been putting into the crypto firms, right?
Yeah.
Into the different crypto exchanges
Mm-hmm.
and buying out different crypto tokens and all, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
blockchain, whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's Ethereum. But he cannot do anything if in case there are only 10 limited supplies, right? There are
Hmm.
10 different unique holders,
Acha.
right?
Yeah.
Even if in case he want to manipulate all the decision, no, he can't. He needs to be one of the 10 of those people. He needs to be in that group. Plus, if in case we have make sure that there is a, there is a
Mm-hmm.
single restriction that per person only able to cast per vote, right? Only cast one vote. In
Sure.
that case, also Elon Musk is also becoming a part of the decentralization system.
Hmm. So his
Getting
vote
it?
is only, his vote counts
Exactly.
similar to probably
What
like anyone who has the
Right. What
slot,
we
right?
guys can
Yeah.
summarize at this point of time is that right now, at this current scenario,
Mm-hmm.
in 2022, these days when NFTs are getting traded into the crypto exchanges, yes, due to that only reason, whenever the crypto market or whenever the person who is making the graph grow crab, right, ups and downs, whether it's an individual entity or the banks, you said, right? If in case they're doing it, in that case, the NFTs are getting affected.
Sure. The cost of the NFT or the value of the NFT is
Exactly. The
fluctuating because of
value
that.
of
Yeah.
NFTs are getting affected.
Yeah.
But if in case we are talking about the decentralization system as a whole,
Huh.
definitely not. NFT is a still safe mechanism to
Hmm.
be into that sort of a democratic ecosystem we are talking about.
Interesting. All right. So let's jump back to the cost of NFTs, right? So
Right.
everybody knows कि there's some NFTs which are sold at, or like the bids placed on NFTs at absurd prices, right? So
Hmm.
what is the reason behind it? So I know that there's entire, there's the entire process,
Getting it.
right?
Getting it.
But like, let's say for the audience, the member who hasn't, who is like sort of awed by how an NFT is being sold for like 100,000 US dollars.
Hmm.
Why is that absurd amount of money put on, let's say, a piece of art? How do you explain that? Like, let's say the person who is just sort of new to NFTs.
Right.
That's like the common perception of everybody, right? They're like,
As simple as
why are
that.
they?
As simple as that. Let's going back. Like let's go back to that 100 rupees note, right?
Ha ha ha.
I signed that 100 rupees note,
Hmm.
and a famous celebrity signed that 100 rupees note.
Ha ha ha.
Right? What do you think that which particular note will be having the higher value?
Exactly. The one
Celebrity note.
celebrity one. Sure.
It's exactly the NFT's value is not only getting getting decided just via the art. No, it's basically the utilities behind it. If in case the utilities are way too high, right? BAYC is giving you the club of the billionaires.
Sure.
Imagine if in case you are running up a business and you are holding a BAYC, the Board Ape Yacht Club, right? You are holding that the single freaking monkey image. You are having an access to thousands of the other people who are billionaires. Probably you
Sure.
can simply go to them, just pitch up your idea, and who knows that you will be the next billionaire
100%.
via your startup app. So that is the reason that these NFTs value are quite higher up. If in case I am giving out an opportunity, I'm not yet, a crorepati image, right? But if in case suppose I'm having $1 million, I'm having some 7 crore INR, and if someone asks me that, will you be able to give 2 crore rupees if in case I will give you a meeting appointment fixed with Elon Musk for 1 hour, I will make sure, dude, that I do that.
Yeah.
I simply do that. I will not thinking twice whether it's 2 crore, whether it's even 3 crore, until unless it's not 50% of my net worth, right? I can do that because I do understand the value what I will be getting while sitting with this particular guy, right?
sure.
So that's the reason that the NFTs values are quite absurd. And to be really honest,
They're worth it.
the
I agree.
absurd term, right?
Yeah.
The absurd term is for the people who
are new to
are
NFTs,
still
don't
not
know.
yet
Yeah.
understanding, right? Exactly, right? Once they get into the NFTs, they understand the tech, they do value the amount these guys have been putting up.
For sure, right? It's almost like a school identity card, right?
Exactly.
So if you have like
Right.
the school identity card of a very good school, you
Right.
get to meet good teachers, and by that you probably do well in life. Like this is just an
Right.
analogy I'm trying to give.
Right.
It's almost like it's just an identity card if you think about it, right? It's just a piece of identity
Exactly.
which you have, which gives you
You know,
access, and that
every-
access is worth
so-
probably even more than
Exactly.
$100,000 if you think. about it.
NFTs will be very soon integrated within edtech systems as well.
Acha.
Trust me, Virtual Cyber Labs, the company which I founded, right? We guys have been into the cyber security edtech courses and all. This is something which we guys have launched it today, that we are integrating NFTs for all the students who have been taking out courses. Trust me, right? So what we guys have done, we have created a Discord server. There is a bot which we guys have been using to verify the NFTs these guys have been holding. We created a single NFT. All of the people who have been paying money for getting into the courses provided by our company, right? These guys are getting an NFT. They just need to verify the NFT access or their NFT holding via that bot which is added into a Discord server. Once they have done that, they are having multiple further resources to dive in.
For sure, the utility attached to it is the resources that
Exactly.
sort of
Exactly.
For sure. 100%.
Very soon, these ID cards will also be getting replaced up. Right? The person just need to simply go. They just simply need to check on to their OpenSea account, and these guys will be getting an access to the school gate or to the college gate.
Just have a wallet address and you're done.
Exactly.
Basically.
Exactly.
It's great.
That is the reason that Web3 space is much beyond the imaginations, right?
sure.
It's still speculative that how far this particular space can go up.
For sure, dude. We are planning, so we are building in stealth right now, right? So building something sort of in the consumer social market at the moment. So for that, we are using the same thing. We're planning to have something. It's almost like an identity card, which if you purchase the NFT, you get to meet a lot of cool people who have money. So the thing about our product is it's very consumer social. So more money, that means better consumer in that sense, because high quality of life, higher purchasing power and whatnot, right? Basic. So we're sort of implementing the same thing. If the person has the NFT, they get access to a lot of very high-paying people, high rich people, and in that sense, that's something like that we're planning to build. So I'll let you know after the podcast. But I haven't told you about the platform, right? Yet, probably
Not yet.
Awesome. So let's jump back to CloutLanders. Kya scene hai? What's happening?
Okay, CloutLanders is an idea. I have been in the NFT space somewhere around in October, right? So I was also new. I believe that I was quite new into the NFT space when I even planned to build up my own collection, right? To be very honest, because people who have been into the NFT space for over a year, they also are not even planning to start their own collections and all, right? But to be very honest, I will not name people, right? I have been having multiple connections into NFT space now, right? The people who are connected with me, they are having further connections, and if in case I know that, if in case I ask them, they will be definitely providing their connections to me without any single doubt, right? But the point is that these guys always stopped me from starting into CloutLanders, and they were quite at their positions, right? They said that once you are having connections into the Web3 space, then it becomes quite easier to rise your CloutLanders or to rise any of the NFT project. What I believe is, that if in case you know how to execute a community, right? If in case you know how to plan up a community and what are the resources you're gonna provide to the community, sometimes that's quite important. Let me tell you why we started very early. We planned out CloutLanders in December 2021, right?
Okay.
It took us an entire 1 month to come up even with the name and to even come up with the art what we guys will be designing up. I will be
For sure.
breaking down the entire planning of CloutLanders into different segments. Plus, I will be before starting up. I really want to give out the credits to the team who have been working day and night onto that. Specifically, my artist Carrie. Right, I have been like a mind blown guy who have been working very hard on the trailer, onto the artworks and all. Right now, let me tell you like how this worked up. There are multiple utilities what I have been seeing. I myself hold somewhere around 10 NFTs of a single project.
Okay.
I have invested somewhere around over 2 to 2.5 lakhs just to understand about the entire NFT ecosystem. And I'm quite proud on that because there were now all of those 2.5 lakhs is somewhere valued at 75,000 rupees. Trust me.
Unlucky.
Since the only reason being is unlucky, the simple reason being is due to this war, the entire market has been disrupted up. Right. So that is the only reason, but I have not yet sold out a single one. The simple reason because I do understand the value of the NFT which I have been holding up. Right.
You trust the clubs that
I trust
you
that
put
club.
money in.
I trust that club.
For sure.
I hold 10 NFTs
Of
out
one
of
single
those 10.
club.
Out of those 10, 9 of a single club.
Oh my god. That
And
much.
I can bet entirely on that. Not from the money perspective, but from the holding perspective, the utilities perspective. Right. So that is a project which is related to the entrepreneurs. That's I can name that Metapreneurs. Right. It's a very famous collection now.
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah, heard of it. Sure.
Right. Right. Yeah. So geometrical shapes and all, something like that. Right. These guys have made sure now these guys have been providing me an opportunity to pitch my business to the billionaires and to get out funding over there. Right. I have myself attended several sessions over there. Each and every freaking day, they have been inviting the people who have created the businesses worth of $500 million and all. Right. So I'm getting out that utility from that sense. The entire idea of naming CloutLanders was we're struggling so much. Kya naam rakhe, right? It is exactly the way you do the namkaran of your son and all. Right.
Sure.
CloutLanders, cloud reflects, or basically cloud describes in English influence and power. Right? Cloud means influence and power.
Sure.
If you will be searching it out.
Cloud.
Right?
Okay.
A dictionary term. Cloud means influence and power. And simply the lenders, right? So it's a very random term which we put up. CloutLanders is basically that particular connection where we guys understand the value of creators economy. We know, why we guys have been doing this podcast, because you somehow at some point of time you know very deeply that who knows that probably this podcast will be giving you 1,000 views in the next 10 minutes. Right? Who knows that probably this podcast can go viral and you will be the one who can be into that league of creators. Right? The simple reason being is people create content for creators economy. Right?
Sure, the creator type people, primary creators for the most part.
Exactly, most of them, the primary creators, or now since Instagram and all these platforms have given a lot of opportunities that even the person who dances well will be having over millions of followers. As simple as that. We know one thing, that irrespective whether it's Web 2, whether it's Web 3, the creators economy will be long lasting. Because the simple reason is if there is a population of 3 billion, all the 3 billion people cannot be those influencers. Right? Only 1% or only 2% of these 3 billion people will be the one who are leading the other people.
I think even lesser, if you think about it.
Even lesser. Sure. I do believe that. Right? Even lesser. Right? Now that is the only reason that why we started out with CloutLanders. The only community in Metaverse, we researched on it. A lot of research was done that what can be that particular niche where we can start our own project. Right? And that's where we find out the loophole. That is about the influencers and the creators economy in the Metaverse.
Interesting.
Okay. That is a simple reason that all the utilities in the CloutLanders are oriented from the creators economy point of view. These all are oriented from a perspective that we are trying to make you into that league where you are taking decisions and others are following that. Sure. We are basically building leaders of Metaverse. As simple as that, if in case I want to summarize it. Right? So that's the inspiration behind starting up with the CloutLanders. Right? Now, so do let me know if there is any other question at this point of time.
So in that sense, so kya karte ho? Like the person who has influence, do you give the NFT to that guy? Like is the like distribution of NFT based on how much influence the person has over the crypto space or something like that?
what we guys have been trying to do is, this is a very interesting point. Although I have been planning to reveal this somewhere around 20% of the pre-sales, but since you have
Oh,
asked
sure.
it, so let me give you a glimpse about it. Right,
Mm-hmm.
what we guys have been doing is, there are various rising influencers. By which I mean rising influencers, the people, I'm not admiring the people who sings well or dances well. I admiring the people who codes well, who programs well, who designs well, right? Who
Like
are
industry
uh,
leaders who
the
have
industry
influence, something
leaders
like that. Yeah.
specifically, the
Mm-hmm.
people who can bring out that real productivity in the 22nd century as well, right? Now what I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to combine all these influencers, not generally from India, to be very honest. These are the people who are coming out from different regions of the world.
For sure.
There is a special board which we have created, the CloutLanders board, right? The board of influencers.
It's a board.
The
Okay.
website is
Mm-hmm.
also live, board.cloutlanders.club. Probably you could not have also seen it yet, right?
Okay. The new one, right?
board.cloutlanders.club.
I think I've seen Cloudlanders.club. The new one I haven't.
You have seen the CloutLanders.club.
Yeah.
There is a subdomain,
Acha, acha, acha.
board.cloutlanders.club. Right.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time I am revealing over here. Right. I
Mm-hmm.
have not yet disclosed it anywhere else except for the team.
Mm-hmm.
This board.influencers.club, the board.cloutlanders.club is only having those people who are rising day by day phenomenally in any of the creators economy. They are with their respect. Right. If in
Yeah.
case they codes well, so they're having multiple people who just want to learn about coding from him for absolutely free or something like that.
Hmm.
Now, the NFTs are open for all. We are not making it very restrictive, right? If in case you're having over 10k followers, then only you can mint an NFT. No,
Mm-hmm.
we are not doing that. To be very precise, what we are trying to do is, if in case you want to learn from these people, if in case you want to build networks with these people, because these are the rising influencers, and I know that I'm not that worthy at this point of time that I will be signing up Gary Vee for being a Cloutlander. You expect that, right? You accept
At
that.
this stage, probably it will be difficult for you guys.
Exactly. At
Yeah,
this
sure.
stage,
Yeah.
as I quoted up, right?
Yeah.
At this point, I'm not that worthy that I will be signing up these mega influencers, right? At some point in near future, probably
For
it
sure.
could be
Yeah.
possible. Now, but the point is, I am betting on those people. I am betting on those rising influencers who at this point of time is probably having 10,000 followers,
Mm-hmm.
but they are working so much phenomenally that I know, the team knows, all the holders also knows that this particular person will be having 100k subs within next 15 days.
Interesting. Okay.
Right now, I
Mm-hmm.
am getting out this guy when he's only having 10,000 subs. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because at this point of time, he is also reachable.
For sure. Yeah. 100%.
Right now, since I have been giving out value to this guy as well by giving him very nice intellectual audience who understand NFTs, right? I have been inviting into him, and I have been adding him into the board of influencers, and I am also gifting him an NFT.
Sure.
Right?
So
This
win-win
is
for
how
him,
I
for
have
sure.
been
Yeah.
exactly a win-win
Mhm.
for all.
Yeah.
Right? I am getting
Sure.
out, I am bringing out a value from the very nice person to all the holders whom we are having. And this is how I have been trying to bridge the gap between the normal holders and between these influencers.
Okay. So there's a sort of separation between a normal holder
Exactly.
and like an influencer who has. Oh,
Exactly.
sure.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So this is what all about. Also, I prefer to all of the listeners, right? Either it's on a Spotify, you are listening on to Spotify, either you are listening on to any other platform you are watching us live. Just make sure that you also read our white paper. Have you seen that, Yash, by any
No,
chance?
I haven't.
Do give it a look, bro. Do give it a look.
Can I do it
Probably
here,
if in
like on
case,
stream, if you want?
if in case you want to do that, yes, you can.
Yeah, for sure. Can you just send in a link in chat so I can directly click it and.
Why? Is it simply as that, bro? Whitepaper.cloutlanders.club.
White paper dot
Cloutlanders.club.
dot club.
Right.
White paper. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I guess the stream can see it too.
All of the streamers can see, right? The people
Yeah.
who are viewing this. Great.
It's like
No,
an okay
oh,
overview. Okay.
exactly. This entire white paper is covering almost all the segments what you need to understand from the Cloudlander perspective. Whether it's the utilities, whether it's the roadmap, whether it's about the DAO which we guys will be setting up, whether it will be about the cloud funds. There are multiple possibilities which we have included via Cloudlanders. There will be a special wallet which will be
Mhm.
only preserved for the holders, so that whenever they are trying to build up their own personal brand, we guys will be sponsoring them to do so.
Interesting. So it's
Right.
almost like a documentation type situation for like
Exactly.
for like club.
For the
Awesome.
people who want to understand it from a very deep and technical perspective.
Interesting. So like, what is the utility? Let's say I buy the NFT. I mint an NFT.
Cool.
Let's say what do I get? क्या मिलता है?
Cool. So if in case you are having out over there, just give me a second. Acha, theek hai. So let me tell you about the utilities part, right? The first thing, as I already explained, is the influencers networks. First thing, right? It's way too simple. The second thing, this time we have added cloud camps, right? Which is all these sessions which we have just named it cloud camps, the influencing camps, right? Basically. So these will be an entire series of boot camps. The people who have been themselves giving their courses worth of 25,000 or 30,000 INR, right, or
Mm-hmm.
somewhere around $500, to all those holders, these courses will be absolutely free. The simple reason being is learn as much
Sure.
as you can. We are always here backing you up, right? That's one thing. Second thing is what we have established cloud camps.
Hmm.
Since we understand, I from a very small creator perspective, I can say that, right? Since I don't myself love being into the creators economy, but I do value the people who have been into that space, right?
Hmm.
The reason being is that while when you are rising, when you are struggling to make sure that your reach go viral up, right, there are multiple factors which are included. Sometimes this factor is also, most of the times it's money as well, right? For an example, suppose you're having somewhere around $20,000 in your pocket, right, and you know that the level of knowledge which he is having is incredible, and you want the audience to listen to that.
Hmm.
You want that all the audience can at least see your face once, so that they can recognize you and then they can follow you back. In that case, what you will be running up, you will be trying to market yourself via the ads, you probably via going to different colleges, different events, and present yourself as a speaker and all.
Hmm.
In this
Hmm.
case, there is 30% of our secondary sales,
Hmm.
right? 30%. You understand the secondary sales, right?
100%. Second sale.
Whenever
Sure.
an
Yeah.
NFT is getting sold out, then the club basically generates a sort of a
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
secondary sale revenue.
Hmm. Hmm.
30% of all the secondary sales monthly will be allotted into our into the cloud
Okay.
funds,
Cloud funds.
right?
Hmm.
There will be a voting. There is a channel into our Discord server, ideas and suggestions, right? Over there, a person can depict their ideas about their startup, about their personal brand growth, on whatever ideas the community votes a lot, right? Whatsoever the ideas wins up, right? That particular guy will be allotted 30% of our secondary sales right away.
Interesting. Like for a particular amount of time. Let's say this month ka secondary
Right,
sales.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
Like whatsoever the 30% of secondary sales for that particular
Okay.
month.
For sure.
Right?
Hmm.
Exactly. If in case it's satisfying its
It's
need.
almost like a
Right?
grant type situation you figured
Exactly.
out.
A grant
Even
type
that is
situation.
like decentralized where people can just vote out
Exactly.
and the
Exactly.
best idea
People
gets
will
the
be
money.
voting out. The best
Interesting.
ideas go up, and like nothing will be decentralized and nothing will be centralized in CloutLanders. That's our vision. Up to some time,
Hmm.
definitely. Like once there are somewhere around 50% or 75% of the mints have been done, right? Somewhere around 5,000 to 7,000 NFTs have been already minted up. We are done. Then the entire part is decentralized.
It is
You
almost
take
like a
care of
micro
this one
VC,
project.
right? If you think about it, because you are making money in any which way side on the side by the secondary sales and sales, and
Probably you
then
can say that that is a decision from my true entrepreneur inner self,
for
right?
sure.
I do understand the value of grants. I do understand what it takes to build up a startup without
Hmm.
having any sort of funding and all, right? So that's the only reason that I really wanted to solve this position somewhere via the decentralization mechanism.
How accepting is the Indian VC space for, let's say, the metaverse?
I have been working
Mm-hmm.
with a startup, right?
Acha.
Probably I can name it, right? Ratify, right? So
Oh yeah,
Ratify is a
I know
startup.
those
You
guys.
know that,
Yeah, yeah,
Shanzel, you know that,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I have been working as a co-founder now over here. Shanzel offered me that somewhere around a week or 2 weeks back.
Interesting.
I loved the enthusiasm which these guys possess up while building this entire decentralization social media network, which is
Mm-hmm.
having integrated NFTs and all.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
In case you want, I can share out a pitch deck, and I can ask Shanzil to have you a sort of an consultation and all.
Mm-hmm.
Another reason being is Shanzil went to multiple VCs, right, and almost 2 to 3 of them was so much flattened via the idea that they were ready to put somewhere around $150,000 right away at a very meaningful stake in a company, right, somewhere
Okay.
around 15 to 20%, right.
Hmm.
Now, right,
Yeah.
we denied those offers, and the simple reason being is we have not denied it. We are having out the term sheets ready up, right, but we have not signed it yet. The simple reason being is that the product is still into the prototyping stage, and
Okay.
we
In
also
the
ourselves
product.
don't know.
Okay.
The
Awesome.
product is into the
Mm-hmm.
product development stage, right, at this point of time.
Mm-hmm.
We are having a prototype, but
Mm-hmm.
we are not yet making circulated, or we are not having still the right beta users to test it.
You haven't shipped it out
Right?
yet. That's like it's
Exactly.
just still
We have not.
okay. Oh my god. Still
Exactly.
you raised. You're
Exactly.
still in the process of raising funds.
Exactly.
Interesting.
That's the only reason that I have been telling you that the
Mm-hmm.
VCs are quite understanding the value of the metaverse now, right? Acha, dude, since you have already named the metaverse, I was having a chit chat with Himanshu 2 days back, right? While
Mm-hmm.
we were just hanging out, and instantly he asked me that, what do you think and what do you feel about metaverse, right?
Acha.
Trust me, metaverse is the last stage of social media. There will be nothing after metaverse.
There can be a metaverse inside a metaverse if you think about it. There
Definitely.
can be
That
worlds
that
inside worlds, and then we can have
exactly,
multiple entities inside.
exactly.
Something
But
like that.
ultimately,
Yeah.
metaverse ke upar there will be nothing up, right? If in case there will be anything which is getting added, that will be an integral part of metaverse. Why?
Interesting. Yeah.
Social media, when it was launched by Mark, right, in 2004, the entire objective of social media or the Web2 space was connecting people, right?
True. True. True.
Only metaverse can be beaten by the technology like Neuralink, which is not affordable at any time, like at any point of time in the nearer future, at least for few decades.
For sure. So like unless we have something like a hive mind in place, which
Exactly,
is very
exactly,
difficult to sort of,
exactly,
it's politically impossible if you think about it.
exactly,
Oh my
exactly.
god. Okay. So
Right?
oh
That is the
shit. Yeah.
only reason that
Hmm.
metaverse, or probably we can say that Web2, Web3, right?
Hmm.
Web3 is a sort of an, what I can say in the terms of metaverse only, right?
Hmm.
Web3 is a very huge domain, right? So I'm
Sure.
not generalizing it, but only in the terms of metaverse, what we believe is that metaverse is the highest peak of a social media wherever it can reach to, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, or whether it's WhatsApp and all. You guys can chat, you guys can video conference yourself as your true avatars, right? You guys can work from home just via opening up your laptop, right? Metapreneurs have designed their own Decentraland and all, right?
Hmm.
And I visited the Decentraland they are having. They paid somewhere around 1.6 crore just for that virtual plot of land, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Since all of these holders are having an access, so I visited their headquarters in Decentraland.
Yeah.
Trust me, my experience was phenomenal. It was not an entire GTA sort of a feel, right?
Ha
Not
ha ha.
not like that, but I believe that it was quite even better than that, right? I could have interacted with the real people who were over there. I could have chit chat with them, right, without even seeing them, but still we are sharing our thoughts with so much effectiveness. So I believe that connecting people via their physical devices, right, metaverse is the only highest possibility which is achievable at this point of time.
For sure. Like
Right.
I think that's the only. Wait. Let's think about it more. Like, are there any other dimensions we are missing out on? Like, once we create a new world, let's say in the digital
Right.
space,
Right.
the only thing you can do is create new worlds. That's all. Like
Exactly.
you're in
Exactly.
it. Like there's no way out.
Exactly. You're
Oh my
simply
god.
in it, and
Yeah.
that is the only reason that VCs, if in case they do understand what I said, that we definitely pitch to multiple VCs, but only 2 to 3 of them have showed interest, right? And
Hmm.
the interest somewhere around, if we're giving out a lot of money just for a very meaningful stake in a company. So you do understand the value what these VCs have been understanding from the metaverse point of view,
For
right? If
sure.
in case they do understand the value that this is the highest level of social media one could have achieved up, then these guys are ready to put up their money in.
Oh
As
my
simple
god.
as that,
Yeah.
right? So not as of now, but in outside India, there are multiple VCs who have been definitely investing in metaverse, and there are people who have been investing into NFT clubs.
Sure.
As I
Yeah.
told
Yeah.
you, we guys have been raising funds, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So why? Who is funding us? The people who believes on the vision of metaverse at least,
For
right?
sure.
Before believing on CloutLanders, he needs to be a believer of blockchain, NFTs, and metaverse. Only then and then he can be someone who understand the value of
Sure.
CloutLanders,
The technology
right?
has to be sort of
Exactly.
validated
If
before
in
the
case he
idea.
is, he
Yeah.
is feeling that metaverse is entirely hypothetical, then he can definitely not match up to the level of fundraising or giving out funds for such sort of an very random generated
Oh,
NFT
anyway,
project.
sure. 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Interesting, man. Awesome. Let's jump back to crypto. So I had
Okay.
this burning thought in my head
Hmm.
about the 30% tax thing that Indian
Sad.
government is. Kya scene hai? See, I sort of read about it, sort of have a
Hmm.
basic understanding, but for the
Right.
people who don't know what's happening, kya ho raha
Point is, I am not against taxes,
hai?
right? I quoted it very nicely, I believe so, right? I am definitely not against taxes, right? But the point is that it feels like that Indian government doesn't want middle classes to even get a single opportunity to raise their money up. The reason being is that only reason that why I am against this particular sort of an opinion, 30% taxes, that cryptocurrencies are way too volatile. You don't know that when you have invested somewhere around $10,000 in crypto, and if in case you are somewhere at $7,000,
Hmm.
right, you are already in $3,000 loss, and you feel that this particular coin is getting way too down now, right?
Huh.
It's just going down and there will be no comeback. For example, take as an example of Shiba or Doge, right? That was a meme coin and they went up and now they are out of the league.
Nowhere. Yeah, sure. The
They're
shit coin
nowhere,
essentially.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly, the shit coins. Now, if in case, suppose for example, any of the Indian middle class guy, because as I already explained you, in India, most of the people don't take their own decisions. They value the decisions which have been taken by any respective personality, right? There is only
True.
one person who is creating out a decision and the other 10 have been following him up, right?
100%.
Now, the reason being is that if in case this particular person has invested $10,000 because he was a millionaire, right? He invested $10,000 in a shitcoin, all the other tens dead, right? All the
Sure.
other tens dead. If in case the shitcoin value is now going down,
Hmm.
right? All of these are already into losses, and even if in case they now want to retrieve the money, कि चलो ठीक है यार $7,000 तो बच जाए, right? In that case, also 30% tax is there.
Yeah. So
The
essentially, if you think about
idea
it,
is that
yeah,
30% is not on profits.
yeah,
30% is
it's
on the
overall
money
sales.
you have
Yeah.
been withdrawing up.
Hmm.
That is the only disadvantage factor which probably Indian government could have misinterpreted.
So I think with that sense, it's almost like a losing game if you try to invest. If you look at crypto as an investment tool, right? Because
Right,
if you are having 30% taxation on any sale or any buy, I mean,
right,
it's like, man, are you
right,
really getting
right.
30% profit or even more to sort
Exactly,
of even out the
exactly,
taxation? You're not.
exactly. So it's like that. If in case you put a lot of money, you
Mhm.
generate a lot of profits. But if in case you put a very significant amount of money, the profit is quite negligible.
Yeah, I mean,
Trust me on that.
even if the money is small, if let's say
Huh,
the profit has to cross 30, if think about it, right, it will
exactly.
just cancel out for the most part.
Until unless I'm not having a profit of somewhere around 80% or much higher than that,
Yeah.
right? I will not be definitely withdrawing my money,
Hmm.
right? And until unless it's not somewhere around 80% or even more than 100%, right? Because when someone invests into cryptocurrencies, they do have a perception that if in case they have invested 10,000, right, the money which they will be withdrawing after some time will be above 50,000, a 500x return. They do value that this is a sort of an conception via cryptos. But after this 30% taxation, probably a lot of people who have been trying to plan their way into cryptocurrencies in India,
Hmm.
this is a barrier for them.
For sure.
Secondly, Indian government, I honestly believe, and I'm not sure if there would be any official watching out this stream, and also I can definitely say that out, right? The point being is Indian government is so dumb in this case. Trust me on that part, because I believe the decisions which have been taken in that perspective, I'm not sure if these guys were actually having Web3 intellectuals amongst themselves when they were designing this sort of a law and all. Right, the 30% taxation part. It feels like that there were a sort of an bureaucrats who came up and they felt like अरे यार 5,000 रुपए उनको मतलब सीधा कमाए जा रहे हैं, at least take 30% out of their profits and all, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work that way. It's
For sure.
entirely decentralized. The money is not into our hands. It's entirely dependable on the other people whatsoever they have been putting up their money in. And on that basis, also charging money, not fair.
Interesting. So I think what government is planning to do is sort of implement like a SEBI in terms of crypto, but it's,
Right.
it's impossible to do
But
if
you
you
know,
think
it's
about.
impossible to do.
Yeah.
It's
Because it's.
decentralized. If in case a person
Hmm.
doesn't want, they can probably regulate their withdrawings via US. It's as simple as that. In
Just need a.
Estonia, there
Exactly.
is no taxes, bro. There are no taxes. Even Estonian government are supporting now this crypto enthusiastic startups.
Hmm.
That is what basically, Estonia has been given a sort of an title, the very first online country in
Yeah, there's no
entire globe.
paperwork at all. There's
There
literally
is
no
no
paperwork.
paperwork at all.
Yeah,
Their
it's
votings
insane.
are online, right? They just order the food online. They just order the groceries online. Everything is running on online modes.
Hmm.
They do value the understanding of cryptocurrencies at a very far level than what we guys as a democratic nation has been doing up.
Yeah, man, it's weird, right? And if you think about it, do you think it was because like there were a lot of crypto scams happening? Do you think that's why the government is like, okay, let's sort of.
See, bro, since I have been coming out from a cybersecurity background, I do know the value of scams, and these scams will not be stopping anyhow. Right,
Hmm.
even if in case the decentralization world is going at a very far pace, right, and even after 10 years, if you will be asking me, the scams will be as far as they will be keep rising up. So you can't control the scams part, but just because due to the fear of scams you're not allowing something really beautiful to be implemented amongst your citizens, it's not fair,
For sure.
right? There are only one people out of 10 who will be thinking a bad reviews about cryptocurrency, right? Like
Hmm.
the thinking of the bad ways to make money via cryptocurrency, via indulging himself into scams. But why to stop the other nine just
For
because
sure.
of
And
that
if
one?
that's the reason, that's the same thing with normal money,
Exactly.
right? Because
Exactly.
and that's even, even more, because like scams can still be sort of identified on
Right.
crypto.
Right.
Because
Right.
it's
Right.
it's sort of
As
even
simple as that.
blockchain scams are impossible to do, firstly.
Exactly.
Uske alawa,
Exactly.
if there's normal currency, like let's say an Indian rupee,
Uh,
it's way too
you
easy
know,
to pull out
when
any
I
scam.
when I started decoding into the crypto scams, they
Uh-huh.
are so highly technical, and I enjoy decoding them a lot.
Mhm.
Right, I signed a deal with Plug TV, an OTT platform, and my entire series on decoding crypto scams is coming very soon, somewhere around two weeks later up. Right, just listen to that. You will be finding out that recently the OpenSea scam take up, right? It took
Huh.
up somewhere around 32 holders, I believe. They lost somewhere around $1.5 million worth of NFTs, right? They filed a lawsuit against OpenSea and all. There was no flaw in OpenSea's smart contract. There were multiple phishing campaigns which were running out. These people themselves signed their wallet addresses to all these smart contracts. And if in case you are yourself giving out a permission to use my NFTs as your own, then there is no scam happening up,
For sure,
right?
it's a basic
Technically,
phishing, no? If you think about it.
technically there are no scams in cryptocurrencies. Trust me, there is no scam, right? This is just that the particular person who is getting victimized over here, he is not that much technical that he can understand that what he is doing up, right? It's basically directionless to the guy who has been getting trapped into such sort of scams.
Do you know the address bar clipboard scam or like the clipboard glitch that's happening?
The clip basically, if
Wallet
I am
address
not
किसी और
wrong,
का जाता हाँ हाँ
right. If I'm not wrong, one of my friend got 4 Ethereum. It was just a sort of a MetaMask glitch. It happened.
yeah
Are you referring to that?
yeah yeah
Right.
exactly.
I've not yet covered it yet, right? But I'm definitely looking forward to do that.
Dude, it's weird, right? If you think about it, so the crypto space is it's more secure than we think it is. Is that what you're trying to say? Generally scam होगा तो phishing से होगा or like how the way people sort of play social engineering उसके वजह से scam होगा or else there is exactly no way.
Exactly. Because blockchain की beauty है कि if in case since when I dive into blockchain, I first read about how the blockchain works up, right? There are hyper ledgers, then there are different blocks which are using cryptographic keys, right? Acha, since I have already mentioned, I'm not sure if I will be getting out another opportunity to speak on this topic in any other podcast. That's why I mentioned to it. There are many people who have been planning or who are not even understanding the value of mining money, right? The mining cryptocurrencies. They feel that mining means generating cryptocurrency. It's
Yeah.
not that.
Yeah, it's
It's
not
not that,
Mhm.
right? Mining is basically the reward which you are getting because you have yourself made your computer resources available to everyone to use or to to solve the mathematical complex equations which are used for making all the transactions occur on the blockchain network.
Sure. It's
Right?
almost like a
Which
cloud computing
basically,
device you provide to the currency.
exactly. I'm lending my computer, and just for the reward of solving that computer, the mathematical equation, I'm getting out a reward over here.
For sure.
Right?
Mhm.
Just understand this way that if in case this mechanism is itself decentralized, a lot of people have been lending their computers up just to solve those mathematical equations, which is definitely almost impossible for a human mind to calculate up. It's
impossible.
impossible to
Yeah.
it's impossible to name it as a scam. It's a technological glitch. Probably you as a dumb guy couldn't have read about that scam, right? That is the only reason that you have been falling into that trap. Otherwise,
100%.
it's not a scam.
Dude, then why are so many rug pulls happening in, let's say, the NFT project space?
Rug pulls are scam. Rug pulls are scam. But the reason is, Yash, that people are relating rug pulls with blockchain.
Yeah,
No,
it's nowhere
I
related.
believe
It's
rug
nowhere
pulls
related.
is
Yeah.
related to community.
For
Rug
sure.
pull is related to the NFT club, right? It's a related to the 1% of application of the blockchain network, right? Blockchain is a technology, NFT is an application. Rug pull is again the disadvantage of this application.
100%.
Rug pull is nothing. It's simply like if in case there is another CloutLander coming up, right, with the same name, with the same logo, got somewhere around 10,000 fake users, and now after having 10,000 fake users, the another 10,000 users which will be coming up, they will be genuine. They will be putting their money into that CloutLander, believing
Yeah,
that
and they
this
take the
particular
money
guy
and they
will
just
be
run away. That's what.
exactly.
Yeah.
That is what rug pull is, right? So
Yeah.
this is not a technical scam.
For sure. It's almost like a phishing scam, but like sort of.
Exactly.
Then
Right?
how to
It
identify
can
like
also be
good
avoided.
projects then? Like,
Right?
is there a way to
It
identify?
can also be avoided. It can also be avoided by identifying the nice projects or the actual projects. How do you do that? You need to make sure that firstly you are checking the engagement level into their Discord, how well the moderators have been engaging, how well the founders have been engaging. Secondly, what I do personally, the Twitter checks as well. Right? I also sometimes do message their founders as well. The reason being is all the NFT club founders will be reachable. Why? Because they really want you to be a part of their NFT club, and they do understand the value of a single NFT holder.
For sure.
Right?
Like the new ones, they have to be sort of
Exactly.
reachable.
I have myself, see, imagine, metapreneurs after selling all the 11,111 NFTs, they generated $5 million revenues in total. Okay. Even after that, around 1 week back, I was sitting in a Zoom meeting with their co-founder who led all the marketing campaigns alone.
Interesting.
That is the beauty of NFT Club. That is why I have been betting onto this project. Getting it? This is how basically you can identify your projects in which you can invest in. Now, even getting into an NFT project, there are two different reasons. First thing, probably people are getting into that just because due to the flipping opportunity. They just buy it at a lower price, they sell it at a
For sure.
higher price.
Yeah, yeah.
This is something which is also happening into the rug pull scams as well.
Hmm.
This is happening, bro,
Interesting.
over
Yeah.
there as well. People buy the fake NFTs, but just to make money, they also list it down in any other victim. They buy their NFTs.
तो उसका cost ज़्यादा होता है and they just sell it off
उसका cost ज़्यादा
before
होता है, they just sell
before
it
the
off.
rug pull actually
Right.
happens. Yeah.
There's a very famous rug pull board bunny,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know it very well, right? And it went so badly that somewhere around, if I'm not wrong, over $2 million were,
Lot of
just
money.
freaking generated and lost. And trust me, Himanshu was dying so badly because the minting price was 0.4 Ethereum of board bunny, right? Somewhere around over 1,20,000 at that point of time, right? Himanshu was like कि भाई एक ले लेते हैं यार, ये बहुत चलेगा. And since I was not having enough money at that point of time to get into the board bunny part, and I told him कि एक काम कर, देख ले if in case you want to get into that or not, right? All of a sudden, he was about to buy it. We were way too much lucky in that case. All of a sudden, it went viral that this particular project is a scam. Right?
Lucky,
And
dude. Too lucky.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We were too lucky. We were on the worst to buy out. Honestly, he added 0.5 ETH into his MetaMask wallet address. That okay, bro, I'm just going up with it. Let's see what happens up. And at a very verge, this entirely disrupted. So this is how basically you need to make sure sometimes that even the very genuine NFT projects looking alike, right? They are also sometimes quite into the rug pull phase.
Interesting.
So-
What's going wrong in the crypto space then, other than the rug pull scam? What do you think is going wrong? What is that one technological loophole that has to be solved, or else this won't go? This won't take off. Something like that.
The technological loophole.
Yeah.
Dude, for me, if in case I wanted to generalize it for the most of the people, right? The people who really want to explore crypto, but the money is a barrier for getting themselves into crypto. I believe that the way you figured it out, like the banks can actually buy out a lot of cryptocurrencies and they can manipulate it whenever they can. The individual rich guys, the philanthropists can just basically get into those sort of in cryptocurrencies, buy a lot of it, stake it, and whenever they just dump it, the value is already down. They have generated profit, and all the other people, they have lost the money.
Sure.
Right? This is something what I believe that the wallet addresses, right, which are right now, if in case I'm having MetaMask, I can add multiple accounts in it. I want to add 10, I want to add 20, I can do that. I believe from a general perspective, since there is no KYC which can be done over here, since again this is decentralized and the blockchain is quite anonymous at this point of time, and unfortunately it can never be identical at any point of time because this technology is already up now, right?
Sure.
There is no one who can make any changes into the blockchain. They can simply use blockchain, they can't modify it, right, any further, right, until unless they are devising or they are another Vitalik, right? But the point is, if in case this is happening, right, then each and every device as well, the physical device, should have a limit to generate addresses. That is something what I believe can probably help somehow, or can at least get the can get the manipulative minds come down, right, and can lead to a sort of a very safer place comparatively to as of now.
Comparatively, for
Okay?
sure.
Comparatively, I'm not saying because even if in case someone wants to do that, they can probably buy thousands of laptops and can do that. But I'm not denying that fact, and that is the only reason. But I believe that if in case we are talking about the technological loopholes now, these can never be fulfilled, right? And the reason being is that again, bro, like everything has two faces, so you can't do that. You just toss up a coin and you always want that there will be tails both the side, right? So that is the only reason that in this case, in blockchain, the technological loophole is itself the another phase, right? It can be comparatively get better, but it can never be covered up.
With time, it can sort of fix a couple of bugs and stuff.
With time, it's entirely variable to time. Who knows that there will be a Web 4 as well? I'm not sure, right? But there can be, right? So it's not the end.
Let's sort of explore Web 4. What do you think can be there? Like other than this, iska kya ho sakta hai?
I believe Neuralinks. I honestly
Hive
believe
mind. Okay, something around Hive mind.
That is the only thing which I believe that, and it will be coming after a century, I believe, because I don't feel that the prices at this point of time, the way they are rising up, The markets. I'm talking about the physical goods. Even when you go out and you are trying to buy out apples, these are also costing freaking expensive now.
Sure.
Right? So I'm just into that perspective that Neuralinks, even if in case they come up, implanting a chip into your brain is somehow definitely not affordable, right? It's not even at a cost
It's
of
not
buying a
scalable as well
Mercedes.
for the time
It's
being.
not even at a cost of buying a
Yeah.
Mercedes. I believe it would be even much higher than that, and
True.
it is only possible once the 70% of the world population is already into that affordability stage where they can afford that.
Dude, I think the only way this can happen is if there is some form of a tyrannical government which
Huh,
forces it on the people. I think
right.
that's the only way. नहीं तो हो ही नहीं सकता.
That can happen. That
Yeah,
can
because
happen.
if people still remain democratic, which is very difficult. So to impose that
Nice.
kind of a control on a society, you need to have a
Right.
tyrannical society, tyrannical
Right.
government. And if
Right.
you have
Right.
that, then hive mind can be easily exploited, dude. Like just
But
imagine.
the reason is that I'm quite this is a very nice observation, right? And
Mhm.
since you have yourself been talking so much intellectual in describing out Web 4, the point is that what the trend is saying now, 1995 was the starting when the Web 1 came up, right?
Hmm.
The entire internet. 2004, just after the 9 years of span, Web 2 came up.
Hmm.
If in case we try to observe it carefully, 2009 was when the Bitcoin came up, just after
Yeah,
five
sure.
years of Web 2 setup,
Hmm.
right? So it's even not possible that we are trying to be very very highly predictable कि यार Web 4 आने में एक century लगेगा. हो सकता है कि अगले 10 साल के अंदर भी we will be
Sure.
able to get out of Web 4,
Sure, sure, sure.
right? It's quite possible. The
Because
only
money is
reason is that
manipulatable, right? Because if
right.
there are like any some form of
Exactly.
disasters or like
For
some,
me,
yeah.
Neuralink is what I am imagining into after metaverse. But probably there could be a Web 4 where there is no need to implant chip into your brain. It could be something, there is a wearable device and you can just communicate your thoughts via that.
Yeah, if
Right?
things go
It can be
well,
something like
like
that.
if things go well, if
Exactly.
technology improves, it can even happen next year. But like
Exactly.
sort of like a global hive mind to happen,
But dude,
it's
we
way
need to
wrong.
also make sure of one thing. Web 3 or Web 4, since there is a term web, right?
Hmm.
We are not talking about Web 2 was about connecting people. Web 3 was identifying people via their transactional value,
Hmm.
right? हो सकता है that the objective of Web 4 is not connecting people again or not identifying their network. हो सकता है Web 4 objective will be quite different,
Sure.
right? Depending upon to the time frames. It needs to be it doesn't need to be connecting people via brains. It doesn't need to be very speculative at this point of time कि ठीक है there will be neural links. So सकता है there could be a different objective, because if I'm not wrong, Web 3, Web 1, Web 2 and Web 3 are different webs basically setting up different objectives.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, these are not only technologies. All of these technologies are coming with an objective. And one thing is for sure, that technology will be keep changing very rapidly within the next 2 decades at least, because the
True.
blockchain is already at its peak. Not at peak, it's just starting, and it will be taking at least 2 decades to reach to all the people understanding what blockchain is and to be very adaptive to this blockchain,
Dude, what do you
right?
think about like decentralized governance? If because Web4 can sort of implement that sort of governments.
Even Web 3 can do that. Even
Yeah,
I
sure, it
genuinely believe
can.
even Web 3 can do that.
Yeah, it's
The
like a
point
huge
is that,
DAO, something like that.
but
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Web 4, if in case it happens up, then Web 4 doesn't need to be decentralized anyhow. I believe so. The reason being is if in case suppose the Web 3,
Hmm.
I took up my words back. Trust me, I'm quite regretting. I just said that Web 3 can also be used for governance. The
Hmm.
reason being is if in case I'm having two laptops, I can cast two votes. That's not
Ha,
that is
sure.
not again right. That's not fair. What I believe is that this governance system cannot be decentralized. It
Hmm.
needs to be somehow centralized. There needs to be an election poll, right? There needs to be an identity that who is casting which vote, right?
Sure.
So not sure when it would be possible, right? But
Hmm.
I'm sure that it will be definitely at some point of time coming up in a nearer future, but at not this point of time.
Sure.
Not even
There's
Web3
no
will
there's
be
no technology
in a
at the moment which
sideways
sort of
situation.
controls humans, right? So probably the
Exactly.
Web4 can sort of try to control the way humans work, and governance is
Exactly.
the only possible instrument
Right.
that humans have produced by
Right.
which we control how humans function, people buy and stuff, something like
Right.
that. Awesome.
Right.
So we are almost like at the end of the conversation. तो मतलब podcast से पहले I put up a story about like for the audience कि कुछ question रहेगा about NFTs you can ask. So I got like 3 or 4. Sort of I'll
Okay.
ask those and then we probably call it a day.
Great.
Awesome. Let me just find that. Okay. Okay, this question is are NFTs just accessories? What is the best
Hmm.
possible use of an NFT in the future?
What is the best possible use? the first thing
Yeah.
which I believe is the tokens. It will be working as a ticket system,
Mm-hmm.
and it is even working as a ticket system at this point of time as well. So basically, talking about NFTs, it will always remain a ticket system. It will always remain like that. The reason being is that NFT is an application of blockchain. But yeah, there will be different applications of blockchain which will be having different objectives to satisfy. Right. So probably this question should be that what is the future of blockchain in the terms of
Sure.
application rather than what is the future of NFTs in the terms of application. Right.
NFTs
Because
is just like,
NFTs only
it's just a ticket system,
NFT
right?
is itself
Yeah.
yeah, NFT is itself an application.
It's like
Right.
asking कि
So
मतलब एक ticket से क्या कर सकते हो? Ticket can be of anything.
exactly.
There can be multiple
Exactly.
utilities for a ticket.
Exactly.
Awesome. So next question is, do you think owners of popular NFT collections should own the rights them? Should own the rights for them, I guess. I think the person is trying to ask.
I get it.
Okay,
What
so
can you repeat that?
I'll try to figure out what. Okay, I think the person is asking, what are the rights that the owner of an NFT get? Okay, I think
So
something
the
like that.
rights, dude, that depends upon the
Club, right?
rights which the particular person has designed while establishing their
Hmm.
NFT club, right? So it's like that. It's quite depending upon the
For
founders as
sure.
well, what they really want to do,
So too generalized of a question, I guess.
right?
Explain the utility of an NFT. Okay, this is a very open-ended question, but like, yeah, I think we explained it initially too. It's a
Right,
ticket system
exactly,
for the most part.
exactly,
It's an identity card which
exactly.
helps you get into places, sort of get to meet new people,
Right, right,
which open up other dimensions of opportunities. And I guess that, yeah,
exactly,
that's it.
right.
Awesome. I think इसके अलावा there are like some stupid questions, but we won't take
Leave
those
that.
in. Awesome. ठीक है. So it's been great talking to you, Dipanshu. Thank you for your time. This is probably one of my, it's probably on the top 3 of my favorite podcasts that I've done, and I've done like
It
probably
is
40.
also even one of my favorite podcasts. Probably this could have been conducted up. The
Mm-hmm.
reason being is that the questions were really nice when we
Mm-hmm.
guys were asking about it and
Mm-hmm.
we were discussing about it. The beauty of these podcasts is something which I genuinely want to make sure that all of the listeners now,
Mm-hmm.
probably not on live only, but the people who will be listening it on Spotify, right, or who will be watching this YouTube video afterwards, you guys need to make sure that you keep listening to such sort of these podcasts frequently, because sometimes when I was discussing with you, I myself was not aware where this conversation was going up, right?
Hmm.
We just hit into the Web 4 term. We just got into the segment of metaverse into metaverse. And
Sure.
these are quite very nice observations when you usually do up. It basically opens up the mind entirely.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks, man, for inviting me up. It was lovely chatting with you again. And I'm assuming that once the CloutLanders will be a huge success, I will be up there again and
For
we'll be
sure.
discussing about an entire journey how CloutLanders started from scratch around a year back, and now we are standing over here.
For sure.
Great.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you so much for doing this. Have a good day, guys. All the links for the Pancho are there in the description, like even for the CloutLanders. If you want to check it. And also the white paper link is on the chat box. So if you guys want to read it, I'll put it in the description after the podcast. Sort of, where it's published. Awesome then. Okay. Have a good day. Bye bye. I'll just end the stream.